Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a delicious batch of 5-star bars. This recipe today is a viewer's request, but I also can remember making these years ago when I was a young girl working at a small bakery. We mostly done it for Christmas time. We made it for special occasions. If anyone was having a baby shower or even a bridal shower, we used to make these. So simple recipe, not a lot of ingredients. If this interests you, stick around and let's get started. Now this recipe, of course, is pretty simple and it's got just a few ingredients. Of course, we got some graham cracker crumbs, we got some coconut, just small grade, we got butter, the condensed milk, vanilla, and I'm going to be using a little small amount, a quarter of a teaspoonful of sea salt because I like that in there. I'm going to be also using a 300-gram bag of unsweetened or semi-sweetened chocolate chips. You could use Aero bars, you could use dark chocolate, whatever you like. So let's get started with 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. So I'm thinking I said 2.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs and 2 cups of coconut. And we will pop in there the quarter of a teaspoonful of sea salt. So just toss that in there like that. Like I said, it's a very simple recipe. Not a lot goes into this. 1/2 cup of melted butter or margarine. Just toss it on in. A teaspoonful of vanilla. And then we're going to be putting in a can, 300 mils of condensed milk. If it's really thick, or keep it at room temperature, and you can also put it in some warm water, just a can, and that would help loosen up that thickness. Just pour it on into the bowl. So all you're going to do after adding in those ingredients is mix it on in. Now I guess if you had a KitchenAid with a hook, you can just do it like that or just mix it through. And it's simple as that. This dessert, or these little 5-star bars, was one of my childhood favorites. And like I said, Christmas time, I would be just, as a child, eating those pretty much all myself. So that's all you need to do. Just toss it together. You don't need to over mix it because this is, like I said, a simple recipe. What I'm going to recommend is a square pan, 8x8, 9x9, or you can have it a long pan. It doesn't matter. Whatever size you want to use and how thick you want these bars. Piece of parchment paper and put it into the pan, and then we're going to scoop this out into it. So what I did is just take a piece, cut the corners so it can overflap down into the pan, and then just take your mixture and scoop out into your pan. Like I said, it could be a square, it could be a long one. It all depends how thick you want these 5-star bars or how thin you want them. So what I'm going to do now is just finish putting this in there, and we're going to flatten it in there. So all you're going to do now is flatten that down into your pan. Now what comes, well, the best part now is baking it, and I'm going to tell you what that is. So all you need to do now is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And put your pan in there anywhere to 15 minutes or less, depending on your oven, because all it needs to do is just give it a soft baking. You don't want to dry it out too much. So meet me back here and I'll show you what that looks like. Our 5-star bars are baked. I'm going to reach for them in the oven and I'm going to show you now what to do next. Okay, they smell absolutely amazing. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn off the oven leave the door up because now we're going to sprinkle our chocolate chips, or if you're using Aero bar or the dark chocolate, we're going to spread it over the top of this baked pan of 5-star bars and put it back into the oven to melt. So you're just going to toss the full bag of chocolate chips, or as much chocolate as you want, over the top of this 5-star bar mixture, and it's baked perfectly. And just spread it out there. So now I'm going to put it back in the oven with the heat turned off for a couple of minutes to let that soften. So after a couple of minutes in your oven, just take it out and use a flat spatula and just brush it back and forth like this to flatten those chocolate chips or the Aero bar. Like I said, whatever chocolate you want, and if you don't want chocolate and you wanted to use chocolate icing, you can do that too. And that's all you need to do there. So pretty much that's all you need to do there. So what you would also need to do now is let this cool down to at least room temperature before you take it out and cut it. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like and have a little taste. They're absolutely delicious. So after your 5-star bars comes to room temperature, take it out of the square pan and then you can start cutting it. I'm going to show you that. Okay, you can see how delicious it looks there, and which side down now you can tell what it looks like there. And of course, there's no particular way you can cut this. Mine is still a little soft, so I'm just going to kind of cut it just for you to see what it looks like, and cut it into a little couple of pieces there. And again, the size is up to you. Okay, I'm going to let mine harden just a little bit more, but I'm going to take up a couple here just to show you. And they look absolutely delicious. And just look at the nice inside there of that 5-star bar, and the chocolate is still, of course, soft. I can't wait to have a taste. Of course, if you're making these for company or you want it for a special occasion, you want to make it in advance so that they're nice and cold, and storing them in the fridge sometimes helps a little bit as well because it cools it down fast. But if you're not in a rush, take your time, and if you want to have it when it's a little bit warm, that's fine too. But I like them when they're nice and cold. I'm going to have a little taste. Delicious. And that's how easy it is to make these delicious 5-star bars. And of course, I'm thinking that's how they got their name, because they are 5 stars. So if you want a copy of this delicious recipe, you can get a copy down under this video link. And as well, you can visit our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. And the recipe, of course, it's also available on our Facebook page. And as well, you can send me a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com. And I would like to thank the viewers that requested this recipe today, and of course is one of my childhood favorites. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy day to spend it here with us. So for me and Raymond, thank you for joining us, and you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary.
And don't forget to join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.
That's Bonita's Kitchen.
Does it push thumbs up?
To yours.